among the many reasons why I do YouTube contents, this is one. Like, I want to build my self-confidence, and I want to be able to look at my previous videos and see how far I've gone. Hopefully now, moving forward, it's 1% better than I was yesterday. But you know, doing this is not, it's not easy. It's not easy to sit here and think about like an intro, or think about the flow of this video, the conversations. There is so much that I want to talk about, but it just, the mental block ako when I'm like sitting here already. Is like dead air. But in my head, trust me, there is like so much that I want to unpack about this immigration journey of mine and of yours, if you're watching this and if you're going through the same process, and sharing my life here in the US, my learnings, my growth. There's so much, but oh my god, someone please tutor me on how to like structure this thing, because I want you now, whoever you are watching this video, I want you to have a takeaway on the contents that I make, because I'm already here. I'm making it for myself, and I want to be helpful to you guys as well. So anyway, if this is not as structured and as comprehensive as you expect, then know that I'm trying my best to improve each time. And I should have filmed this yesterday so I could have like captured the genuine my genuine emotion when I saw that I got approved. Really, my tracking still says that case is being actively reviewed, and until today it still says that. So I have downloaded this app on Apple Store. It's called the USCIS case tracker. It's not by USCIS, but someone just created the app, and it's pulling data from the USCIS and making it easier for us to track our case. So you cannot believe the amount of time, like in a day, how many times I'm checking that every single time. And right now I am at peace, but not completely at peace. But I don't check it as often as I did before now, because I have found my approval on my USCIS website, on my account on there. Under the documents tab, nakita ko yung approval notice. But then the tracking on the app and on the USCIS website itself, it says there that my case is still being actively reviewed. Pero I have now on hand my approval notice for my employment authorization and endorsement for advanced travel parole. It means that this is like a combo approval. So for I-765 and 485, the case status for those application forms is still case being actively reviewed, while for my I-131, case is closed. So that's why I highly recommend that you guys create your accounts online to be able to track your case status and look at your documents if there's any progress to your case. Kasi I'm not sure about their system, why it's seemingly not linked together very well, because hindi siya nag-update, or it takes a while for it to update. And the next step for this is for me to receive this actual notice in the mail, which will take about 7 days, and within 1 to 2 weeks to receive the actual card. I find that a lot of people don't really read their notices, and because I am on these Facebook groups, and then there's a lot of questions there na parang mababasa mo naman sa notice, but then they don't get to it, so they're kind of confused and unguided because they don't read their notices. Here, nakasulat yung conditions on the approval. This is not yet like the complete list of conditions because it will come with the actual card, but then this already narrates or will give you an overview of what you are approved for or something like that. So even the validity is also here. So what I'm gonna do in this video, because hindi ako nakagawa ng flow or whatever, I just wanted to read this with you guys, and let's have a close look at what is written on an approval notice. So I won't be able to show you like on screen, of course, because there are information here na classified, but we will go through the body of the notice together. Okay, so it came in 2 pages. Na-download ko the PDF and I printed it. So this is not the actual copy that came in the mail from USCIS. This is from my online account, USCIS online account, under the Documents tab. So make sure to check that because the status isn't always updated. Okay, on the topmost part of the page, you will be able to see your receipt number. This is the number that's been assigned to your case when USCIS received your application form. You will also see your USCIS account number. So earlier in the process, first you will receive a copy of your notice of receipt, and then after that you will be receiving your online account access. That will include your online USCIS account number and then your access code. So you need to set that up because I believe after 90 days of receiving the access code, parang nag-expire. So I'm not quite sure because kalimutan ko na. But anyway, it's very handy and helpful if you create your account on there. You will also see your case type. So for this one, it's I-765 or application for employment authorization. This is what they have approved because we filed for 3, right? I-485, 765, and I-131. For this approval, it is for the employment authorization. Receive date, yung date na na-receive nila yung application ko, November 3, 2023. My priority date is the same date as the receipt date, but it's another field because hindi lahat ng receive date is equivalent to the priority date. I don't know much about it, but I think it applies to other applications for adjustment of status. For marriage base, receipt date and priority date is the same. The applicant name is also here, as well as my alien number. It's also reflected here. The notice date is the date of the approval. It is not necessarily the date when it was mailed or delivered, but it's when the notice was produced. So this notice was produced January 11, 2024. And then the number of pages. So this is page 1 of 2. So we have 2 pages. Then the next line will be the applicant's address, and then on the right side is the notice type. So in here it's written approval notice and the class. So my class is C09P. This is marriage-based application for employment authorization. And then the validity is under there. So it's written that this approval notice is valid from January 10, 2024 to January 9, 2029. So I received a 5-year approval for my employment authorization. Now let's get into the body of the notice itself, because dito nakasulat, very, very important. And again, a lot of people miss reading this very important notice kasi what gets stuck in their head is like, oh my gosh, I got approved. But then there are so many things, important details that we have to read on here. So we are going to do that together. Okay, pardon me if my pronunciations are wrong or whatever. Basta, you get the idea. All right, so first paragraph. We have approved your application for employment authorization and advanced parole. So naka-bold. So that means that this is a combo approval because they're approving both I-765 and I-131. So this is based on your pending form I-485 or application to register permanent residence or adjust status. We will send your employment authorization document, or also known as an EAD card or form I-766, to you separately. So there is going to be an approval notice in the mail, and then after that, sent separately will be the card itself. It's like an ID card, or it's known as the form I-766. The EAD card will have an I-512 endorsement on it, which indicates that you have been approved for advanced parole. Your EAD card should be produced within 1 to 2 weeks. Your EAD card will be mailed via U.S. Postal Service or USPS priority mail with delivery confirmation to the address you designated. The time frame in which you will receive your EAD card may vary depending on USPS delivery times. Please allow a total of 30 days from approval before inquiring with USCIS. We encourage you to use the case status online, https://egov.uscis.gov, to find your USPS tracking number for EAD card delivery. If you have not received your EAD card within this time frame, please visit your uscis.gov.erequest intro blah blah for instructions on how to submit an inquiry. So here on this notice, they have also given a timeline for the production of the card. So the delivery may take 1 to 2 weeks from the approval notice, but then it is still dependent on the delivery times of USPS. And then they're also saying here that please allow 30 days from your approval before sending an inquiry to the USCIS, because a lot of people or a lot of applicants are like contacting USCIS, but then just to minimize the traffic, we should allow 30 days before inquiring if and when hindi natin na-receive or natanggap ang card within 1 to 2 weeks. And then, meron naman silang tracking down na ipoprovide online. So, kailangan nating i-check sa ating USCIS account para makuha natin yung tracking number if we are very eager and excited to get our card. For me, I am very eager and excited to get my card because I already have an employer waiting for me. I have a job offer, and I have a tentative onboarding date which is on the 22nd, and ayoko na silang paghintayin pa ng bonggang-bongga. And pero maghihintay pa rin naman sila if hindi umabot sa 22. But I wanted to start work as soon as possible because, oh my gosh, ang hirap na walang trabaho dito. It's for my mental health more than anything. Hindi ako naghihirap, like I have everything that I need to survive, but then mental health is another issue, and I am a person who loves to work. So that's why I'm very eager to receive my card, and that's why I have been checking online like 1,000 times a day for my approval notice. So, but anyway, if you are not in a rush or anything, you can just patiently wait na dumating in the mail the card. But then after 30 days, if hindi mo pa siya na-receive, that's the time when you ask or inquire with USCIS according to this notice. Okay, so your EAD card is a proof that you are allowed to work in the United States. Show the card to your employer to verify your authorization to work during the dates on the card. You cannot use this approval notice as proof of your employment authorization. You see, if hindi ko to binasa, I would have come running to my employer and presented them this approval notice and said, hey, I got approved, can I start now? So no, it is not, this does not equate to the actual card itself. And so when you receive your EAD card, please check that all information in the card is correct. If you need to change any information in the card, please mail all of the following to the office listed below. First, you will have to write a letter explaining what information needs to be corrected. your physical EAD card. So, kailangan mo yung i-return. And then a photocopy of this notice and evidence to show that what the correct information should be. So, for example, if you need to correct your name, submit a copy of your birth certificate or official name change. So, ayun. Kung may mali sa card mo, those are the things that you need to mail to USCIS para ma-change or ma-update yung card. So that's for employment authorization. Part 2 is for the advanced parole. The I-512 endorsement on your EAD card is proof that while your form I-485 is pending, you may travel abroad without abandoning your form I-485. Show your unexpired EAD card with the 512 endorsement to the ship or airline, and it can let you on board to travel to the United States. As long as your EAD card has not expired, you may use it multiple times to request parole in the United States. Yes, so the United States Customs and Border Protection, or the CBP, can parole you into the United States for up to 1 year. So the way I understand this is that you can be outside the United States for 1 year, and then they can admit you back in using your 512. So you see here, your EAD card is not enough. You need to present your 512 endorsement itself. I'm assuming this is a letter that comes with your EAD to use it as your parole. But before you leave the United States, please note of the following information. Number 1, parole into the United States is not guaranteed. Oh, there you go. In all cases, a CBP officer must still inspect you at the port of entry to determine whether you are eligible to come into the United States according to the terms of this advanced parole. Even though USCIS approved your advanced parole, CBP may still refuse to parole you into the United States. This is so funny because my husband was just like, have you read the conditions? We are not risking that because pwede pa lang hindi ka i-admit ni CBP for whatever reason. So it is not a guarantee that you will be paroled back into the United States. And yeah, I've heard those stories before, but then we don't really plan on going outside the United States anytime soon, so this is not applicable to me. But if you are, so you have to pay close attention to these details. Number 2, parole into the United States is not an admission into the United States. If we deny your form 485, you may be subject to removal proceedings for inadmissible to the United States. So pag na-deny yung 485 mo, the parole will not serve as a legal thing that you can use to stay here in the United States. Papauwiin ka nila, girl. Oh my gosh. Number 3, unlawful presence. If you leave the United States after being unlawfully present in the United States, you may be barred from admission even if you obtained advanced parole. Okay, so since kasi yung validity of this is from 2024 to 2029, so that's 5 years. So within the 5 years, kapag na-deny yung adjustment of status ko, hindi ko na magagamit yung travel parole to admit myself back in the United States. Hindi na siya magiging valid according to this document. So if you were unlawfully present in the United States for more than 180 days but less than 1 year, and you leave the US voluntarily before the start of removal proceedings, you are inadmissible for 3 years. Oh my gosh, hindi ka makakabalik for 3 years. If you were unlawfully present for 1 year or more, you are inadmissible for 10 years. Oh my gosh. So if you like overstay in the United States for more than 180 days but less than a year, 3 years kang hindi makakabalik sa US. But if unlawful ka dito for 1 year or more, 10 years, hindi ka makakabalik here. So, I don't want to go through all this trouble. So, I'm going to stay legal. Okay? We have to stay legal. And if you have concerns about traveling abroad with your EAD card, may affect your legal rights, admissibility, or waivers, you should contact an immigration attorney or immigrant assistance organization accredited by the Board of Immigration Appeals before making foreign travel plans. So you really have to research. And if you have a pending 485, going on to the second page, if you have a pending or approved I-40, pending I-485, you may request to change employers if your form has pending for at least 1 day. In order to do so, you need to submit documentation about your new job offer. For more information, blah blah blah. Okay. If your EAD card expires before we make a final decision on your form I-485, you may apply for a new EAD card. So it's like a renewal. But I don't think aabot naman ng 5 years yung approval ng 485 based on the recent trend na some people get it within 4 months, 6 months. So it may vary, but hopefully hindi naman umabot ng 5 years. Alright, so this form is not a visa and may not be used in place of a visa or evidence of employment authorization. Although this application or petition has been approved, USCIS and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security reserve the right to verify this information before and or after making a decision on your case, so we can ensure that you have complied with applicable laws, regulations, and other legal authorities. We may review public information and records, contact others by mail, the internet or phone, conduct site inspections or businesses and residences, or use other methods of verification. We will use the information obtained to determine whether you are eligible for the benefit you seek. If you find any derogatory information, we will follow the law in determining whether to provide you and the legal representative listed on your form G28, if you submitted one, an opportunity to address the information before we make a formal decision on your case to start proceedings. So OMG, even you are approved, you still have to walk on eggshells. Hindi naman like walking on eggshells, but what they require is just for us immigrants to like follow their rules. And we should, because we are foreign to this country. This is not our homeland. We should respect it and be good law-abiding citizens. So anyway, what is next after this approval? As I have mentioned before, I need to wait for the EAD card to come in the mail, and then after that, what I have to do is I need to go back to the Social Security office. This fiasco, but my Social Security number is just crazy, but what can I do? So I need to go back to SSA para i-update ang aking name, because they're still using my single name, and with the EAD card, I'm hoping that they could update it to my married name. And then after that, I have to wait for 24 hours para mag-refresh yung system nila. I go to the BMV or the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to finally get my license. So I already passed all the tests, the necessary examinations, so we're good on that. It's just really the paperwork. And hopefully on the 22nd, I could start my new job. And I'm super excited about that. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and may the gods of immigrations be with you all. And yeah, just keep strong and